Alright, so welcome guys. This is another 2v2 Jackpot tournament match. It is a really good game here, a really good match. Priceofkabul and Samwise versus Mitoe and Kaiserklein. It's me, JAILEDaoe casting, Harrison co-casting. Glad to have you guys here.
Guys, plural, I assume you mean me, the players, and everybody in the chat.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I wasn't really sure who I was directed to. I assume you've already spun the map and spun the civs.
I have.
Was that shown on stream, or was that a...
It was not shown on stream. The map was Kamchatka, and then Ottomans and Sioux for Priceofkabul and Samwise, and Iroquois in Spanish for Mitoe and Kaiserklein.
And are they playing this on straight away? No respins for either player, either team?
Yeah, no respins yet. Let's go team 3. I don't know why observer mode didn't automatically put us there, but let's do that, and we'll get into it. Team 4.
It doesn't matter, because sometimes you can spawn either on team 1, team 2, but you're still out of the game. It is hard. It is coded as player 1, 2 versus 3, 4. On those two, you have to set the teams. But apart from that, I think it doesn't matter. But let's not find out on a stream like as epic as this we have in store. Mitoe Kaiser, exceptional 1v1 players. They know each other super well as well, given how many games they've played each other. However, they're probably best at knowing each other's own flaws, but probably not the best of how to work together as a team versus Prince and Sam. Possibly team synergy going towards Samwise's team.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you on that. And I was talking, Fair was mentioning the other day, he had to talk Kaiserklein into joining a 2v2 tournament, because Kaiserklein really enjoys his 1v1s, and not so much, a team player, not as much a team player, I should say. So, I don't know, I think there's more of a chance here than I originally thought for Priceofkabul and Samwise. It'll be interesting, and this match, Sioux and Ottomans versus Spanish and Iroquois, I definitely give the advantage just early game military over to Sioux and Otto, and they're, Amos BR is super strong. You can also do something like Axe Riders and Janissaries. Getting into it, this is the match. It is Priceofkabul spawning in Sioux as the blue, or spawning in blue as the Sioux. Samwise spawning in purple as the Ottomans. We have Kaiserklein in red as the Spanish, and Mitoe in teal as the Iroquois. Should be a really good match. It is summer version of Kamchatka. It wasn't specifically supposed to be winter or summer, so that'll make a difference. What do you think is going to happen here with the teams and the matchup, Harrison?
I'm just having a very quick skim through the map. The coin mines look to be slightly better for Mitoe. We have extra coin present here and coin present probably there. Possibly extra mine, extra hunt in base for Sam Prince. So I think let's just say it as it is. Prince +1 hunt in base, and Mitoe team +2 mines.
Yeah.
As you can look at Samwise's potentially third mine, it's quite a long way away of where they can really go.
Are you ready?
Yes. It should be fine, because both players have an in-base 2 silver mines, and by the time we get to the later point, we're talking about town centers, outposts, and that. And I've just looked at this. You've seen Kaiserklein already having 4 goats next to his dog and Explorer. Mitoe teaming up with Kaiser to get this massive, well, no, not massive treasure anymore. It's only 105 food. There was a time, and especially on RE, 10 of these Tibetan macaques guarding, I believe, is around about the 210, 230 food mark, though. But there's only just 105 food. More importantly is the early goat control here for Kaiser and Mitoe.
Yeah, and the farm out from Iroquois, that's not something you see every day. But on a livestock map, I think it's really nice. Get that farm out, you're going to have a huge boost to your economy super early. And as you know, the longhouse only takes 125 wood. Farm takes, it costs 400 wood. The Trivoice is much more efficient building that farm and gets you more XP than the longhouse. So it's an added boost for the economy for sure. Going to delay aging up a bit, but I think that's probably worth it.
we do see Priceofkabul and Mitoe trading off their native converted Guardians. Both of these Guardians weak to their own Explorers and Counter-Explorers. So Macat going down there, Tiger going down, Samwise in the back, picking up 75 food, already aging. So did actually use a little bit of that food to get the age up slightly sooner, which is quite nice. Has kept some of his goats near his town centre. It's hard for Sue to go for their own farm play. They would need to send 700 wood and drop it down, or drop the farm on the 400 wood age up, and it's just not really possible for it to happen. Kaiser getting a family of monkeys to go with his family of goats, whilst he sent the goats over to Mitoe. There's nothing else massive to talk about early age 1, but I assume that's 105 food going to Mitoe, who's been playing as the hero. Should be able to get a decent age up behind this, and is looking to age up on 15 vils about the 3-minute 10 mark. The 15th vil soon to come out. Yeah, it's just spawns and the click-ups coming up. Let's look at what the players aging up with at the moment. We already see that Otto is aging up with Quartermaster, as to be expected. Priceofkabul yet to click up, just done now with the Chief, 400 wood. Messenger for Mitoe, speedier age up here for the hero. Governor for Kaiser, but Mitoe going for the Messenger into the second age. It's suggesting a colonial focus from Aero, and because he's with Spain, he might want to go second age faster just to cover Spanish going for a Tower FF.
Yeah, Tower FF could be really nice. We do see that as far as the goats go, we see that Mitoe has picked up, Mitoe and Kaiserklein have picked up 8, and Priceofkabul and Samwise have picked up 6. So pretty close overall in that regards. We do see that there is several goats already on the farm of the Iroquois, the Iroquois farm.
And Kaiserklein's army of pet macaques have knocked down Samwise Explorer in the middle of the map, so only a single TP for the Ottoman player here, and that TP was quite high HP, so it was so close, and a lot of resources already invested into it. And the fact that he's already age 2, it's not like he gets revived in a bit with extra HP. That's down out for the count. Vil trying to move over to revive it, but it won't. He's going to try and build it himself. Barracks going down for Samwise, but Mitoe replying with his own war hut. I think I saw a few villagers for Prince running out the center area quickly. It's already gone a bit messy for Prince's team.
Yeah, a little bit messy. We do see lots of HP going off of Priceofkabul's hero, and he's also building. He finished off the trading post with a villager, so it's a little bit messy for both teams. Looking really good. Those macaw, those pets, being very, very effective for Kaiserklein there. Really, really good start. We'll see what happens with the rest of this. It's looking, both teams are FB in the very middle of the map. We do see that the Priceofkabul's corral is just now going up, and do we see, I think it's a FF. Yeah, it's an FF from Spain. We'll take a look at the decks real quick for you guys. Let me go back to shipment sent for you guys. Yeah, so 3 vils, 700 coin, no military building. It's definitely an FF from Spain, although his deck does not scream FF at least. We'll take a look at the Iroquois deck for you guys, and pretty good all-around deck. Has a lot of options. Perhaps sustainable agriculture is not going to be used much in H2, but a lot of good options there. Look at Sue's deck for you guys. He has all of the food ups. That's interesting. You don't always see that. If you send all of them, that is math on stream, 60% faster food gathering. So that's interesting for sure. Pretty good deck from him. Ottomans, we have all of the Avis cards, so he doesn't have 600 wood. Some good things to note. We do see a really good push out here from the Janissaries and Axe Riders. So not going to be, as would be expected as soon as you see a barracks, not going to be Avis and Bow Riders. Instead, Axe Riders and Janissaries. I think that's a better choice. Avis are really, really good. Bow Riders really, really good also. But versus you want to have a lot of siege. And Avis and Bow Rider are not as heavy siege as Axe Rider and Janissaries. And with your opponent doing an FF, you want to have good siege. You want to apply a lot of pressure really early. And so I like this choice. A big fight coming in here perhaps really soon. A couple villagers going down for Iroquois. And if they can hold on, I think Mitoe and Kaiserklein are going to be able to hold this. What do you think? How's this going to happen, Harrison? What do you think with age up and we do see a barracks out from Kaiserklein here?
Oh, yeah, I'm not fully convinced Mitoe wants to try and engage this. He's done so well picking units off Samwise Prince. He could have really slammed in there. Kaiserklein, 0 military population out in the field. Probably training a batch of Rodoleros now from the barracks or Musketeers getting batch of 5 come out. Catches the Axe Riders. What a great pop that is. Unlucky there for the Sioux player moving in though. Mitoe did send 6 Tomahawks instead of wood, and he's only down to 1 Warhawk which had chopped in base, so his production is not looking great at the moment, but does have the ability of going for the big button to call out more units, which I think he's just done now, so he's got more Tomahawks to follow behind. And what's nice is the Spanish player is now into the Fortress Age. Neither player, Mitoe or Kaiser, have lost too much so far, and Sam really needs to basically commit with his infantry now before, I guess in this situation, Lancers will be a very good first card, or maybe Falconets if Mitoe can wheel his army around. But so far, the push from Prince to Samwise has been nice, but they haven't actually caused much damage.
Yeah, with the muskets being out and training more muskets, even as it was hitting age 3, I expect it to be some Falconets. We do see some Aina come out now. I believe that was a card sent. I'm going to confirm that for you guys. It is a card sent. So we see the shipments very kind of greedy for Mitoe at the start. 3 bills, 5 bills, 6 Tomahawks, 7 Aina. And we see that Samwise and Priceofkabul are pulling back now. That's a good choice for sure. The Falconets come out. They kind of expected that really, really good timing to pull back. I really, really like that. Good heads up from them. We see that it's a close match. A really good skill from all 4 players. And we'll see what happens the rest of this. Age 3 for Kaiserklein. That is really, really nice. That we see that Priceofkabul and Samwise were not able to punish it heavily. So nicely done from them. We do see the Falconets going down. Are they? This Axe Riders tried to get on top. We do see...
Even if they do go down, they've already paid themselves off. These Axe Riders have overcommitted into Tomahawks, the strongest anti-cavalry musketeers in hand combat. All the cavalry's gone down. The Falconets are a good trade. A couple of hussars from the Spanish age up, snaring the remaining Otto infantry. This is going down. The Iroquois Explorer is also snaring, but will be having his crack shot recharge soon. And that was a cleanup and a half. And I'm expecting, to be honest, a resignation coming soon, because Spain got a lot of XP. He'll be sending more shipments behind us with his training post as well. Iro is just strong in the second age with infantry upgrades as well as still having his Tomahawk mass. And look at Priceofkabul's scores. Sioux struggle for eco, and especially with going 5 Axe Riders first. Has followed up with villagers and spice trade. Incorrect play there. Should have gone for Great Hunter. Extra free 5% on offer for no drawback there. So slight card error from Prince, but that's not really massively significant. May have needed actually 700 coins to mass some bow riders, because Axe Riders hit into double heavy infantry, and probably afterwards Lancers is just not really cutting it.
Yeah, I think at this point Avis and a bow rider would be a much better choice. It's a really good mass. Looking at it economically, it is 6 ahead for Kaiserklein and Mitoe. 46 to 42 in military units. So it's actually pretty close. It did feel a little bit like it was over as soon as the FF came in and they were able to push that back. But taking stock of the situation, it's still pretty close. I would give probably, as far as just looking at the statistics, not the players, maybe a 60% chance, 65% chance over to Kaiserklein and Mitoe to take this one at the moment. But Priceofkabul and Samwise is not going to resign just yet. They know there are options. And we see that Iroquois has actually been gathering hunts on his opponent's side of the map there. That's a little bit of cheeky play, going to deny some future hunts out from Mitoe there. We do
it's
see...
because he hasn't scouted this. Like, you should know that the hunt's spawning there. That is unfortunate, and both Mitoe and Kaiser have pulled back to their own bases, defending themselves. Mitoe looking to follow up to the Fortress Age, probably the smarter choice. I feel they could have done a lot of damage by continuing to push out there with that massive military advantage, but I think pulling back has allowed Prince and Samwise to regroup and come together. Both those players are looking to stay in the second age now, and I think once they see that Mitoe's in the third age, they're going to push out, because none of them are close to aging and has any intentions to age. Sam's used all his coin crates, and Priceofkabul has sent now 2 dog soldiers instead of a 700 coin shipment.
Those 2 dog soldiers are going to get on top of the skirmishers, and the tomahawks are not quite there. Starting to be a little bit. Looks like those skirmishers got a little bit of pep in their step there. Moved pretty quick there. We do see that's a good mass out from Priceofkabul and Samwise. Yeah, with Mitoe aging up, it can be really, really nice. But what army composition are they going to go in H3? Are they going to stick with tomahawks, skirmishers, rods? It's going to be something along those lines. Forest prowlers are extremely strong, but I guess one option would be rods and forest prowlers. We do see that the Sioux army here is going in on the TC. It could make there be a little bit of tactical. Okay, so he's not going in. All right. So I was gonna say it could allow for a little bit of tactical positioning from the armies. We do see that. Mitoe and Kaiserklein are actually going over there right now to kind of protect from it. So they're kind of leaving their whole right side, their whole right flank open. We'll see what they do with it though. Priceofkabul and Samwise still sitting in the middle of the field. Mitoe just hit and they're going forward immediately. So I think we're going to see a fight really soon here.
I completely forgot that Mitoe was slow aging because he went messenger into the second age, and you can see he got a lot of military out because of the messenger. He up there a little bit before, but crates on the floor from the wise woman. Instantly, elite tomahawks will be being researched. Okay, great hunter now from Priceofkabul, so he's now sensed the stronger of the 2, but now it doesn't matter. A lot of village going down though, so the bow riders, axe riders. That is unfortunate, however. EQ at this point probably is not the biggest factor. It's who can actually win this fight, and that axe rider bow rider mass is starting to look very scary. Elite tomahawks is now in. We don't see a fire pit down for Eero, so no war dance available for Mitoe. A lot of skirms though poking away at the Janissaries. Janissaries feeling slightly awkward versus elite tomahawks and veteran Janissaries. This cavalry mass though is running and looking to get a big raid, and actually is going to catch off reinforcements, which is always a good play if you're the cav players. Look for the reinforcements. They're detached from the rest of the army, and
but the rod's getting on top of them now with our musket riders to the side. This could be really the rods are not going to continue snaring. All right, so they're going to be fine there. I would really like to see more Avis. I think that's way too many Janissaries. Your Ottomans and Sioux. Perhaps they're more, they're more 1v1 players, perhaps. So I can respect that. But Avis and Bow Rider, such a deadly combination together. We do see skirmishers doing a lot of work for Kaiserklein here. More axe riders coming out. The skirmishers are a little bit farther forward, but I think everything else is close enough. Yeah. So one thing that Priceofkabul and Samwise do have on their side is mobility advantage. It's a very, very large army from Sioux. The Mitoe and Kaiserklein primarily have infantry mass. So what you're looking at in this type of situation is the infantry need to push and need to make the opponents come to them. If they don't push hard enough, then the cav mass can do a lot of damage on the other side of the map. And he's going to be picking off some reinforcements here. He's probably going to get some good raids. They're still H2. They're not looking to go H3 anytime soon. I think that's a good choice. If you go to H3, your opponent's just going to have a bigger mass and you're not going to have any avenue back into the game. Some good raiding by Hussar over there. Takes down a cav. Large mass out here. Is he going to go for a TC or not? I think it'd probably be a decent idea to go for a TC. But yeah, Tomahawk's just really high siege potential. He's just trying to raid and make some army come back to him, and then he's going to engage back at base when he has to. I guess would be my what I expect.
We do see Sioux running away from the town centre. No siege dance available for Sioux in the second age, and the fight is soon going to happen. And you feel that Samwise can't kite any longer. Ottoman sends in both their artillery upgrades for the Avis guns. However, he's lost his single artillery factory and hasn't really been able to drop one back at home. We do see musket riders and the Rodaleros trying to pick off his cavalry units. A little bit too many cavalry here for Priceofkabul, for Mitoe to absolutely clean up. However, at least pinning this army down should allow the skirmishers and tomahawks just to push in onto Samwise and really put the pressure onto him. Not producing any Avis guns at the moment, so those 2 cards he's invested, not very useful.
Yeah, musket rider is pretty weak, and we see the Sioux army cleaning that up pretty well. We do see tomahawks popped, really nicely done. That was a really, really good move. Lots of musket riders still left on the map. And that's 9 or so musket riders right there for him. And on the other side, we see that Minutemen were called, not doing a whole lot. Abas, just a couple Abas, mostly Janissaries. Sue's aging. I don't know how I feel about Sue aging. I guess
Sue's aging, and they're going to go straight into big button on the 18-minute mark. That's the plan. He's got so much food stacking, but I think he realizes that elite tomahawks here will be enough just to cut them down. He's really lost most of his cavalry mass beforehand. Yeah, all his axe riders are gone, just a few bow riders, but there's nothing going to stop these veteran skirmishers with the unction coming through behind.
Yeah, well played from everyone. We see the importance of aging sooner than your opponents there. They were able to hold on. Mitoe did a good job of just massing enough, allowing his teammate to get a FF in. It was a little bit sketchy there with having only a barracks. He could have... a barracks is a safer approach versus Sue. You don't want to go as stable necessarily versus Sue. So I like the choice with the barracks. Well done from Kaiserklein+Mitoe+Fare. They take game number 1. We'll take a look at some of the post-game statistics. What do you think of that match? What were some of the defining points for you, Harrison?
Sue aging up normal age up time, however, it was much slower than everybody else in the field, and that kind of pushed Prince of Il's back a little bit. An early age 1 advantage, definitely going to Kaiser+Mitoe+Fare. Kaiser picking up the family of monkeys, picking off the Ottoman explorer, denying the train post for time, and all these little bits here and there. It just allowed Kaiser to feel that bit safer to go for the FF play. Bit concerned though, Mitoe was dropping a forward war hut and being somewhat balanced in terms of his aggression. He wasn't going too forward, but he wasn't sitting back at base, and he actually sent himself 6 tomahawks as card number 3, I believe. He went 3-vil, 5-vil, 6 tomahawks. However, once he lost his war hut, he had no war hut back at home, and villagers chopping wood. I would have preferred to see 600 wood and then drop down, well, a war hut with that, or maybe 2 war huts, and then you can eventually send 6 tomahawks afterwards. And just felt Mitoe was a little bit sketchy then. Just all those Janissaries and axe riders around could have really committed and taken out the army, and that was the point. Prince and Samwise could have won it. And then once Kaiser aged to the 3rd age, they knew they had 1 minute to do something big before the first shipment came. But once the shipment came, which was Falconets, and then linked up with the Tomahawks, I just think at that point it'd be too tough to come back. Especially because all the axe riders tried to pick off the Abus gun, the Falconets. However, the Tomahawks went into hand-meaty, good body blocking him from these players. Those cavalry were not allowed to take down the artillery pieces, and a good trade for Kaiser+Mitoe+Fare happened, as well as giving these guys more XP to send more shipments to get that board rolling faster. And I really like the play towards the end, and we didn't really see it come into fruition here, but sending unction from Kaiser is always tempting to send stuff like Spanish Gold, 1k wood, but did send the 1k wood. Unction came after a 9-1 shipment, and you see 5 donkeys coming across, but Unction skirmishers, we're talking about skirmishers having about 35 attack, or around about 35-40 when all of the donkeys are present, and with these elite tomahawks nearby, there was just not much, if anything, nothing that Sue could do. Ottoman couldn't do anything because that artillery foundry was taken down, no Abus gun reinforcements, and yes, it was get lights out at that point.
Yeah, that's a good point. One thing that is really worth noting is perhaps the forward war hut made Priceofkabul and Samwise go all in aggression, and it allowed Mitoe and Kaiserklein to sit back just a bit. They also had to siege down the war hut. It allowed Mitoe, I think, he built the war hut pretty quickly because he had a really good mass of tomahawks out by the time Priceofkabul and Samwise were to come in. So I hear what you're saying, but a lot of games, strategy games like this is mind games and making your opponents react to something that's not even there. And I think perhaps that's what happened. I don't know if it was intentional for Mitoe, but if so, that was really, really well played. We'll look at some of the post-game statistics real quick for you guys. There's the military tab for you guys. Combat XP, looking good from Mitoe there. We'll look at the resources gathered, the military unit population. We see 720 first military units out from Kaiserklein, and we'll look at villager population. We'll look at team stats real quick for you guys too, and then we'll get into the next game. Alrighty, so getting into the next game. Game number 1 going over to Kaiserklein+Mitoe+. I do think it'd be a bit of an upset if they were to if Priceofkabul and Samwise were to take it. But it's anything can happen. It's random civs, random maps. It would be really good to see that for sure. Let me take a look at something real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry guys for having the music on. I didn't even mean to do that.
Is it the club anthems of JAILEDaoe again?
Yeah. I had that on for the 30-minute or so wait period, but then I don't after that, or I don't intend to after that, I should say. Let me randomize this for you guys. The map is going to be Kamchatka again. All right. And it might be winter version, though. We'll see. The civs are going to be for Priceofkabul and Samwise. Portuguese.
Quick question. Do we have a delay on as well, or?
We do have a 2-minute delay, yes.
Oh, I was going to chat to the chat, but it'd be a bit awkward. I have to try and remember what the conversation was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. And for Kaiserklein+Mitoe+, it is Aztecs. Aztecs and Auto. Okay, so Ports and Auto versus Aztecs and Ottomans. I think perhaps Aztecs and Ottomans have a little bit more synergy. What do you think here?
You're asking the 1v1 player a 2v2 question with matchups we've never ever seen. And 2v2 is one of those game modes we just don't see that often, and it's just always a nice bit of breath of fresh air to see some 2v2 games as well as 2v2 casted as well. I'm sure everyone is agreeing with me, but it's not just the matchup of these 4 top players. It's the actual event of just having a 2v2 game. What I would say though in this match, I'm just thinking about it, it's both Ottoman can play colonial. They also can play fortress, and they do have strong options in fortress age. In a team situation, their Abus guns with the H2 artillery upgrades, but they still have vet Abus guns, 3 TCs, continuously producing villagers out into cost coin. That's easy to put down with the 1k shipment now because the TCs only cost 500 words. But their allies, Portuguese and Aztecs. Aztecs have a 2 war hut politician. That could be dropped defensively. Portuguese age town centers. That could be dropped defensively.
We do see that Kaiserklein has asked for a respin, so we're going to do that real quick. Apparently, he didn't like the Aztec and Ottoman into Portuguese and Ottoman. I guess that's because Portuguese has really is much better in 3v3s, and perhaps they're thinking along those lines. The map is going to be Baja California, sorry. And we'll get to the civ real quick for you guys. It is Ottomans.
Oh, you love your Ottomans, Chinese. Don't you? You're absolutely rigging the spinner now, aren't you?
I do think they're very strong, but no, I am not rigging anything. Kabul and Sam are Otto and Chinese. So both really good FF civs. That is one thing that you're mentioning. Guess what? Guess what the first civ for Mitoe and Kaiserklein is?
It's Ottoman.
It is Ottomans. How do you guess that?
Oh my god.
All right, so Otto and Brits for Kaiser and Mitoe. So yeah, lots of Ottomans. The tourney of the Ottomans, it appears. So Baja California. Yeah, you were mentioning FF with Ottomans. That is something that you don't see as much in 3v3s and 4v4s, but it's very, very common, called a Bato FF, if you will, in 1v1s. And these being primarily 1v1 players, that's a really good thing to point out. We might see some FF from one of the players at least.
So the map was Kamchatka, but then spun into Baja California.
We got another respin. All right. Okay, I guess they didn't want to play Chinese or something. All right, guys. Well, we'll get. There's only 4 respins max total, 2 per team. I guess I'm doing the civs first this time. But Kabul and Sam, Sue and Brits, and we'll get over to the Kaiser and Mitoe. It is Sue, Kaiser, Mitoe, Sue, Chinese. And we'll do the map. Yeah, they're already mentioning I didn't do the map first. Yeah, my bad. Map is Arkansas. So I like this map a lot. I don't think we've seen this yet in the 2v2 Jackpot tournament. It's a really, really fair map. It's all land. It is very open. There is a little bit of chance of walling one side. There's like 5 cliff openings or so. I believe there's only 3 trade posts in 2v2. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it's only 3. But yeah, let's see. It is Sue and Brits versus Sue and Chinese. I think Kabul and Sam are going to be happy with this. Chinese really, really good in 1v1. They become a little bit worse in team games when you have to be fighting H2 for an extended period of time. But if anyone can pull it off, Kaiserklein+Mitoe can. Also, I think they're going to be intending to go for an FF or a semi-fast fortress at least before too long. It's a pretty open map, but it's also a very big map, a very long distance between the players. So it's definitely a possibility. What do you think of this matchup, Harrison?
Let me see into my crystal ball. I'm thinking that if Mitoe wanted to go for some sort of Chinese FF, I just don't think Sue will have enough units out to raid and distract or to hold off Sue and Brits, especially when Brits going to go most likely here, Musketeers, with the Sue player going for the cavalry option. So I'm not too sure China wants to go an FF here, or either Kaiser or Mitoe going for a fast age to the third age, as I say. I think Old Ham here could work well. Potential options would be Bow Rider Musketeer, or Hussar, Axe Rider Musketeer, Bow Rider Longbow. Bow Pike here from China can really cover what Sue are somewhat weak to, and then they can focus on their own department. I think TP control, very important for Kaiser's team here, and they actually may want to put the pressure on to Samwise and containing him from the map control in terms of trying to put the pressure on and Gold Starve or Food Starve. And looking at the map, Gold Starve is a possibility with respect to Kaiser starving Prince's team.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll make sure that every player started with 2 mines. Yeah. Sue's second mine is pretty much closer to Mitoe, but that's all right. Yeah, everyone started with. Go ahead.
Kaiser doesn't have a second mine, so I think
he does. He does. It's closer to China. Yep, China has 2.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I got that.
But it just looks close. It looks like it's Chinese mine. It's so close to China. But yeah, welcome everyone. This is the second game of this series. It is Kaiserklein+Mitoe versus Samwise and Prince of Kabul. It is Mitoe spawning in teal as the Chinese. It is Kaiserklein spawning in yellow as the Sioux. Samwise in red as the Brits, and Prince of Kabul in blue as the Sioux. So the map is Arkansas. There's 3 GPs and the natives for anyone curious. We don't see it a whole lot, but it is really nice to build them early and get extra villagers out is the Cherokee. So one thing that I don't expect, but what could be really strong in a situation like this, is for China to actually send a couple hundred food to Sioux, him age up fast and deny any sort of FB and the China FFs behind. I wanted to say that earlier, but I don't expect that. Not from Kaiserklein+Mitoe. It is... they're more 1v1 players, and exceptional 1v1 players, mind you. But the... Yeah, feeding strategies I don't think is so much in their repertoire. But Well, we'll look at, we see Samwise and Prince of Kabul. Samwise, as Brits, has gone for a house and a market. Pretty standard start from him. We see Sue here. And Mitoe went for a trade post. Was it a wood start?
Coin crate start, actually. And so that's why we see the market drop from the British player.
Yeah, it was a coin start, and Mitoe did not get any wood. He didn't get any wood treasures. So wait, he has a market. Did he?
Yeah, so he dropped the market and then bought wood for the village, let's say, and then any extra treasures he can get the market X afterwards.
Right, but he has a trade post also. So he bought 100 wood, and he did not get any ups on the villagers, but he used the wood to build a trade post. So pretty nice up from him. It's kind of funny building a market and not actually using it for to up your villagers yet, but it makes some sense. Looking at his resources, he just wanted to age up quickly. I think that kind of screams that he's going to stay in H2, because if you're going to go for an FF, it can be really, really good to get some of those market ups. It doesn't really slow it down, especially as an Asian civ. You're able to put one more villager onto the wonder, age a little bit faster, but you're going to have more resources. So I think I think the market ups could have been good if he was going for an FF, but we'll see what he does. Looking around the map, we'll see what wow, what did I just press? Okay, I pressed some weird thing that like made half the screen black or something in the UI. But all right, so it's off now. Looking at the map vision, we do see that Mitoe is by the native side. We'll see if he goes for any native trade posts. He's picking up 90 food right now. See if there's any other really important treasures. Samwise picked up 75 wood at one point. Prince of Kabul picked up 80 XP. Those are the ones that really pointed out. Thanks, Hazza, for the raid of 38. Hope you had a good stream. And what do you think is going to happen here, Harrison? Do you think Chinese going to go for H2 aggression?
Well, Mitoe does have the 4 vills on the Summer Palace, and he has lots of villagers mining coin currently, so coin would only be useful for the standard army batches, Chukanu and Steppe Riders, or aging up afterwards. It looks like that China is planning to go for a Fortress Age playstyle here. That is what the early kind of suggestion here. Looking at Prince's base, and I forgot to check this last game, Prince was also playing Sue. I'm not too sure if Prince was using any of his Sue TPs, shall I say. Not getting the full economic, but in the middle though, much more pressing. One villager from Prince of Kabul is likely to go down to this massive native army. We've got converted Renegado, rescued Cherokee, converted pirate, rescued Iroquois Tomahawk. One villager going down, another vill ran away. And actually, if this vill goes down before the corral is built, it will be super tough to recover from. And that is absolutely huge. I don't know why Kaiser is running from that before these units spawn.
Because the muskets were popping out, and so really, really heads up play from him. And the corral is going down. If that second villager went down, that would have been huge for Kaiserklein+Mitoe+Fare. But good on them to pull back. I don't think they would have been able to get it down. Only the Tomahawk and the Cherokee Riflemen would have been able to do a whole lot, and the Musketeers would have been able to do a lot there. And they're in on the Sioux player. Mitoe is about to age up, but he has not started aging yet. Prince of Kabul and Samwise correctly assessing the situation. Brit's not overbooming by any means. Only his fourth mana is going up now. A few idle villagers in base. He does have steel traps and gang saw. Sioux, no market ups yet. Does have a market. There's a lot of aggression in onto the Sioux player. I think there's a really good choice. Aggression to China can work well, but Sioux is also really weak to a rush. So China's not going to be there to support them. May send a shipment. He does send 700 wood as his third shipment, though, so perhaps he's not going to. Some more musketeers out. It's not a whole lot of muskets out from Samwise. I would have liked to see more by this point, but he's lost a few to the TC fire, and perhaps he's not getting batches out quite as quickly as he'd like. I'm not sure.
I have absolutely no idea why Kaiser went 700 wood first as Su. It's just not really what you need in a map like this, especially when the TP's already taken out. He's building a Cherokee settlement for so looking to go for some Cherokee riflemen, because I don't think he has the resources to go for native techs from the post in the moment. They're quite eco-boomy as well, which you don't need now.
He's getting the 4 villagers from the Cherokee settlement. So he's saying, you know what? You guys don't have enough to pressure me. I'm just gonna boo more. We'll see if that's a mistake though. I believe is it 200 wood, 200 coin, something like that. It's really close to that.
It does take a minute to research though, and all his villagers are currently built up in the town centre. So think of that tech as you will. At the moment, Mitoe does get to the 3rd age with the Skirmisher Wander, so at least they have forced to defend, and Axe Riders were trained from Kaiser, but a lot of bow riders being massed now from Priceofkabul with this growing musketeer mass. These arquebusiers will need to be kited very carefully to get maximum benefit out, because otherwise, Kaiser just lost his stable, so no more military units being trained from Kaiser, and all his villagers in the town centre, if they leave, they're going to get picked off very quickly.
Yeah, this is actually looking really, really good for Priceofkabul and Samwise. Kaiserklein very, very far behind. He does have 378 wood left. He just started building a corral at 178 due to sending 700 wood second shipment. Perhaps he doesn't play Su very often, but the one thing that they do have going for them is that Mitoe is an age 3, and that's going to be really, really nice. Su off to a rough start. I think if Priceofkabul and Samwise were to age soon behind this, they would be in a decent position. They could also put a lot of pressure right now, but we'll see what they do. That's a lot. I don't like the army composition from them very much. Lots of bow riders and lots of muskets. It makes the arquebus very, very good. I will say, as China, you're forced to build 2 different units at a time.
That's nice. The musketeers pop from the outpost just in time. There's only a couple of arquebusiers. I mean, we may be at risk of overpricing them, shall I say, especially with lots of cavalry just snaring the Changdaos and the musketeers just doing lots of fire behind. Kaiserklein still haven't really trained a unit. Those 4 axes were from a shipment. He must have some bow riders in queue, and yeah, finally a batch of 5 bow riders has come out. So Kaiserklein has entered the battlefield as the Su, and musketeers are still pressing into their base. And once again, Prince's team is going for colonial aggression. Cav switch going towards China, but China TC villages shouldn't lose any villagers, and the red coat from the intervention comes out to successfully defend that raid. We'll lose 2 villagers though, but does pick up enough.
He's gonna get caught. It's looking like he's gonna get caught. He makes. How did he make that out? I don't know how he did that.
Well, it's the formation change. If you click very close, they go into a very wide formation. If you click far away, they go into a very narrow column, and that wide formation kind of sucks a few of the units together, and that kind of breaks the snare, especially with the Su speed multiplier as well, and the hand cavalry from Kaiserklein stopping to actually get a bit of damage off. That just created that gap for them to break away. So probably a bit of luck there instead of advance control, whether it's intentional or not, but they managed to break away. But now
probably a bit of both, honestly. Pro players are so strong. Yeah, as I was about to say it right until that fight commenced. China is forced to make 2 different units at the same time, and Su being on the map, I can respect the muskets and the bow riders at the time, but I think perhaps bow riders and longbow might be a really good choice here. Longbow allows you. Longbow are amongst the very best units versus ranged cav, and Su going heavy into ranged cav, and longbow is better than any infantry army that Mitoe is going to be able to put out. So lots and lots of muskets though. Really big fight coming up here. Lots of axe riders out for Priceofkabul, but I like the arm composition from Kaiserklein and Mitoe more. Lots of arquebusiers that are able to kite and poke, and the bow riders sitting back are going to make those axe riders null and void. Another stable coming up just now, and yeah, let's look at it. I think Priceofkabul, either he redistributed his villagers to go for either an age up or a bow rider, looking at the amount of villagers he has on each. We used to do a raid in the back here from Kaiserklein. That's going to be really, really nice. I think that is that the first raid of the game for them.
No, Kaiser's been in the back of the base quite a bit, and that's the 5th Vil from from Samwise. I know Priceofkabul's lost a couple of Vils as well from the raid as well, and that was a very successful raid. Samwise playing as British, not having as a great coach there, disappointing to see. But the Musketeer mass in the centre is strong. He's gotten to separate groups, and he's now mixed in longbows as well. Does have musk attack. I feel that this small amount of arquebusiers is tough from Mitoe, and he has sent 10 arquebusiers, looking to go for repelling volley as next card from Mitoe. I think would be very strong.
Yeah, that's you see Crow out now also, but it looks like it may go down pretty quickly here. He aged up with Confucius Academy, yeah, so that is where that's from. And yeah, lots of Axe Riders here. I really like the army composition though from Kaiserklein+Mitoe+. It's looking at the military pop, it is 20 more for Samwise and Priceofkabul. We'll see if they can make that work though versus the H3 army from Mitoe. And it looks like the Axe Riders kind of get stuffed there. Lots and lots of muskets on the field. If there's really good micro here, I think they could take this. We do see Kaiserklein+Mitoe pulling back now a little bit. Looking at the resources, no player is aging to 3 right now. Just Mitoe is in age 3. And we see that their team, Kaiserklein+Mitoe+, despite being age 3 and whatnot, they have 2 TPs. Little bit more of a fight coming in here. Those bow riders just completely null and void the axe riders though. And let's see how many arquebus are out from Mitoe at the moment. 18 arquebus, and it is 20 from Samwise. So I like the choice to go longbows here. Perhaps, yeah, really good choice. He does have some more muskets coming out, but muskets not very effective versus this army. And yeah, more longbows out. It's 14 now. Still 21 arquebus out for Mitoe. Let's see. Let's take stock of the situation. Economically, 97, 98 to 67. So Samwise and Priceofkabul in the lead there. Even militarily, if they can transition this to an age advantage or something along those lines, they could. They have a good option here. Brit's really strong eco. We'll see how they use it though. How they use it will decide this game.
Priceofkabul has sent Great Hunter, Spice Trade, and now has sent Furrier. I don't know why you want to send Furrier at this point, because you already have so many upgrades into your food gathering at this point, so you would be depleting your hunts much faster.
Yes, 30 bills on food, and look at the raid coming in.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, the raid coming in. That's a lot of villagers there. That's 10, 12 villagers-ish. Something like that. More villagers than that, I think. Really good raid there. And we see some villagers coming down from Kaiserklein. Not as many, but really, that's crazy there. He could have cleaned up the rest of those, actually. Kaiserklein could have cleaned up more villagers, but he does not do so. And yeah, we'll look at units lost for you guys. That's a lot of villagers going down from both sides. Really? Wait. Kaiserklein... Oh, no, though... How can Kaiserklein and Mitoe have only lost 4 villagers total?
Kaiserklein's lost 9 villagers. He lost 1 European settler.
Gotcha. Yeah, nice. All right. Okay. Yeah, 9 villagers. 9 down for Priceofkabul. So we see that good rates from both players actually. Perhaps Kaiserklein could have been a little bit more greedy, taking out more villagers there, but he does not do so. We do see that let's see, what's the player? Samwise is aging to 3 right now. So he's going to 3. That's perhaps it would have been good to do it a little bit earlier, but he's going to 3 now, and it's going to prove to be very effective. We'll look at the decks really quick for you guys. Sorry I haven't done that yet. Just so much aggression out from these players. We see that a villager was lost before the FB even came out from Samwise. And those are the decks for you guys. Looking back at the game, we do see a good mass out from Kaiserklein and Mitoe, but I think honestly, Samwise and Priceofkabul are in the better position here. More military pop, more eco pop. Samwise about to hit H3, and he's gonna be able to match the H3 from China. China has already sent much of his H3 shipments, sending 7 hand mortars now before opponents are even at H3. That's peculiar.
why would you send 7-hand mortars? Like in a team game as well, Eco and kind of Greedia is the play style to go for. Or are you sending 2 upgrades to Pen and Volley and Territorial Army? Kaiserklein sent new waves as well as his double cav upgrades. However, he's not yet researched range cavalry Caracol. I'm not too sure if you actually can research on the second age. I believe you can. So at the moment, Kaiser's completely forgot that option exists for him to, considerably buff his bow rise. Okay, he now has it in 25 attack, 14 range. So strong colonial units, but looking to age up behind this now. And then the fight's coming in. Poor villagers from Priceofkabul. These are getting torn apart from this secondary push in from these bow riders. But I still think the British mass, including longbows, is doing quite well. It's funny watching the Sioux armies scare each other away.
Yeah. At the beginning of this fight, you were talking, so I didn't mention it. But a crow went down. It went forward straight into the army. Mitoe not using it very well, and he took down 3 muskets with 1 shot before it went down. It was like 50 muskets versus 1 crow. The crow walked pretty much all the way up to the muskets before firing. Those hand mortars are taking down buildings, so there's that. But it's looking really, really good from Samwise and Priceofkabul. In all reality, they're just sitting back. 150 military pop to 100 basically, and 94 to 79 on the economy. This is looking really, really good for Priceofkabul and Samwise. But you see Kaiserklein in age 3. Yeah, really good masses out.
I think the surround's coming in. I think they're gonna actually come in from 3 sides. Axe Riders engaging the bow riders down to the southern side. Not the greatest for Prince, but he's gonna swing in behind on the other side. Where is he? Okay, he's now at town center, but he's critically away from the fight. And he's just that extra potential is just going down. The military formation starting to even up. Prince is aging behind us at the worst possible time he could age, really, you could say. And now with the bow riders clean up 1 Axe Rider mass, they're coming around again. But because the Archers couldn't run, they've finally been cut down. And now it's really hard for Mitoe to replenish his skirm mass.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, I think, from Kabul. But after all said and done, a really good fight, and all in all, for Kaiserklein and Mitoe. They are now ahead militarily and ahead in military pop. But we do see that it's still really even military pop. Still more eco for Samwise and Priceofkabul. A little bit of a throw there. Not enough to throw the game yet. But a little bit of a shame that happened like that. Let's see. Lots of longbows out. I really, really, really like longbows here. Longbows, really, really good versus the Chinese options, especially with your teammate going bow riders. And longbow bow riders should beat Arquebus Chengdao army and the bow riders out from Kaiserklein and Mitoe. Assuming that they don't make it too many mistakes with positioning like they did in that last fight.
Have you seen Kaiser's bow riders now? They're absolutely insane. Even before War Dance comes in, we have Cavalry HP attack, Cav combat, European waves with a ranged Cavalry Caracol upgrade as well. 341 HP, 33 attack, 14 range. Super, super strong, and accompanied by a squadron of elite dog soldiers from the 3 dog soldier and dog soldier big button tech timing. And here comes the cavalry curates as well from the TP to further bolster these units. Dog soldiers with 907 HP, quad carded. This is going to be very hard for Priceofkabul and Sam to defend.
Yeah, definitely very hard there. And yeah, you don't want to engage this. He pulls. No, he does get snared. You're gonna have to drop a couple of those. The army from Samwise really good, but Kaiserklein beating the opponent's army, the opponent's Sioux. So it is actually mobility advantage over to Kaiserklein and Mitoe, and that's something that they're going to be able to use possibly. Really good longbow mass, so I'd still give the edge, well, I don't know, 122 military pop to 90. It's actually really, really close on military. And we see Kaiserklein, I think, is going to come in on this fight here. Those dogs could prove very effective. Let's see what happens here. That's a lot of muskets, but they're going to go down quickly to the bow riders, the super strong bow riders, and the arquebus. The dogs pull back a little bit. Need more bow riders out from Priceofkabul, but just sitting back targeting those dogs. Most of the dogs down. This is close fight, but very few longbows left. This is as close as it gets, but I think it's a good fight for Kaiserklein and Mitoe. But there's basically no longbows left. Only a few muskets and a few bow riders left. But Kaiserklein and Mitoe losing a lot too. Pretty even fight all in all. I think for this situation, it was as good as Priceofkabul and Samwise could have gotten. But I think they need to pull back here and not lose the rest of those units.
Priceofkabul has possibly lost the game for his team. You see that Kaiserklein's stats, 42 attack, 14 range versus 31, 12. Kaiserklein having the War Dance, which is a 25% attack with his 25 Vills dancing on the final stats of the bow riders. So he's multiplying the effects of the quad-carded bow riders. So they were monster units in that fight. Priceofkabul, though, no fire pit to speak of whatsoever, and in crucial fights like that, that is just a mistake at this level of gameplay. You need that fire pit and war dance. No, also Su TPs for eco or for military defensive purposes from Priceofkabul, so just not using his full options at his disposal. And I just feel that Kaiser and Mitoe are now pushing through, because these skirms are double carded, and once China gets double carded skirms, they are very, very strong, and they're doing super well versus Sam's Musketeers. Musketeers are triple carded themselves, but naturally, Arquebusiers are the counters to Musketeers.
Yeah, for sure. It is three. He has the repelling volley on them. Very, very good card for the Arquebus. And one thing that it also does is it makes them have a multiplier versus ranged cav also. So going to be really, really good versus the bow riders. Just exceptional. I mentioned longbow being really good versus ranged cav. Arquebus even better, arguably better at least, having 3 times multiplier, and the longbows only having 2 times. So Arquebus, longbow, both very, very good versus bow riders. We do see that militarily it is in favor of Kaiserklein and Mitoe, and they've caught up mostly in the economy. It's 121 to 112, so it's really close there. But looking good for them. Kaiserklein and Mitoe have clawed their way back to a point where they could take this game, I think. It was looking rough for them earlier with like a 30 Vil lead. It was something like 90 to 60. But some mistakes from Samwise and Priceofkabul. Lots and lots of longbow out at this point. Perhaps it would be good to throw in some axe riders for Kaiserklein, but we'll see what he does. It's a very, very big mass from Priceofkabul. That's huge. He has his dogs out now. We'll see how the dogs do on the other side of the fight now. The longbow is coming in now. That crow is actually putting in some work. The first 2 crows didn't do a whole lot of work. And Priceofkabul was dancing around, and now he's going in. There is only a few JAILEDaoe there, but those bow riders, those super strong bow riders, proving very, very effective. They are not being danced with, though. Kaiserklein not dancing that, and we see that Priceofkabul has a couple dancing. Yeah, it's those longbows proving very, very effective. I'd like to see the bow riders from Priceofkabul finishing off at least one of the crow, maybe the second one. But they're gonna need to get some anti-cav out there quickly. That's a lot of longbow, very effective, but they need some protection.
Kaiserklein having 2 axe riders in queue. Priceofkabul still 5 bow riders, but bow riders very nice to sit with this longbow mass. Both Sioux players only having about 3 or 4 dancers on the fire pit because they haven't been moving their fire pit with their eco, and there's no point having a fire pit if there's nobody to dance on it nearby, and both players missing out on crucial combat buffs. Kaiser moving to the north side, catching this raid from Priceofkabul as local dominance of force pushing Prince back. Another corral going down top side, but there's a lot of villagers top side. Does have Eastern Spirit Medicine, but no garrison points, and that's the crucial point. These guys are really exposed, and it's just super risky to be playing on super exposed resources, and more villagers are going down at this point, and it's the fact is Samwise has units to deal with bow riders, but they're so immobile that he can't really assist. He's just got to try and hold the center.
Yeah, for sure. We do see there was a lot of villagers that could have gone down for Kabul there. Looking at the economy, it's actually the lead for Kaiserklein and Mitoe after that exchange. And we see that Mitoe is actually aging to 4 right now. He hits it. He aged up, I'm assuming, with the porcelain tower. Yes, with a porcelain tower. And so he's going to have even some more military shipments. 17 Arquebus, 18 Chengdao, and then, of course, the Infinite 2 Flying Crows is a really, really good card. Lots of longbows coming in, and yeah, good raid out from the irregulars there. But lots of longbows here. Going to be fighting this here. We look at the resources. We see Samwise, perhaps a little bit of miss macro there. Has a whole lot of wood in coin. Perhaps he was wanting to age up really soon, would be my guess. Looking around, we see, I think Kaiserklein's just proven his mettle as a really good Sue player. What were you going to say?
It's just the knowledge that what Mitoe scouted with those irregulars. Kaiser's just going to send 3 bow riders, but like these are so upgraded, you can't do anything against these. These have no negative multipliers versus villagers, and no garrison points nearby. Garrison your allied outposts, but at this moment, 10 vills likely to go down.
Yeah, and the army from Samwise is going to go down. There's more axe riders coming in. No burr riders to defend them. There are some pikes, so crucial pikes. Really smart to make those, but I don't think it's enough. I think that whole army is going to go down.
All the bow riders are just trying to take out 3 bow riders. You see that overcommittal of defending the raid, but this axe rider switch from Kaiserklein quad-carded with the cavalry cuirass has just cut through the longbows. You know, longbows only have in yeoman, which is just really an attack range. It just melts towards the hand cavalry, and Samwise has lost his mass, and that was the only real thing keeping Kaiserklein+Mitoe+ really pushing and over committing.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. Well, all right. I'll continue talking. I'll talk a little bit. Oh, it is GG. Yeah, we see Mitoe having the TC there is able to protect his villagers a little bit better. I think that was really, really close game. That was as close as a game as it gets, I think. Or not quite as close. It could be closer, I suppose. But Kaiserklein and Mitoe playing it beautifully. Your face when he doesn't see the 5 bills.
Oh. Yeah. No, look at Kaiser's deck. He's got 24 cards out of 25, but it says 25 due to the problem of making a deck in one patch and playing it in the second patch. That Vil card never was refreshed, so that is very awkward to see. And I do sympathise with Kaiser because that is awkward. Just to, you know, in a tournament game, 5 Vils is just a natural way to get some good economy behind. You see that.
Maybe that's why he went 700 wood. He's thinking, all right, I don't have 5 bills. I got to send 700 wood. Let me build a TP and get 4 bills from that. That would be my guess as to his logic there. But yeah, really, really close match game there. Yeah, what was some of the defining points for you?
I think the defining point really was Kaiserklein's horrendous early age 2 there. The build was not really there. The idol was continuously on him, and Kaiserklein was there but not really present in terms of the gameplay. But once Mitoe got to the 3rd age with the skirmishers, was able to bail Kaiser out, and then Kaiser could just slowly edge back in, and they edged back in due to good unit control from Kaiser+Mitoe+, good trades of the arquebusiers as well, but also some Civ-related misplays from Priceofkabul. And I didn't really see too much of what Sam was doing, because Sam was just doing standard Brit play, really solid. Priceofkabul, though, aged into the 3rd age with the messenger. Possibly the Bison age up could have been nice there. No use of Sue TPs to buff your eco. It's 50 wood for 8% in a large gather aura wasn't used. And the fact that, yeah, all these extra food cards, villagers were just so far away from the town centre, the raiding just crippled him, and they kind of made those eco cards redundant because his villager count was just so down compared to what Kaiser had. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Kaiser having much stronger units as well. The lack of a fire pit next to your villagers for a big war dance during the big engagements. There was units from Priceofkabul with 32 attack on their bow riders versus 43 attack from Kaiserklein. And when you have 25, 30 bow riders in the fight, that is a massive difference. And probably, if you looked at the team stats, look at the military population in the team stats. It was probably the second big fight after the first fight after Prince go into the 3rd age, and roughly similar populations beforehand, 93 to 120. Now, not all those military populations would be fighting at that point. However, Priceofkabul, they just do fall away to 11 versus 56. And at that point, they had to really try and remass. But I feel the damage was pretty much done at that point.
Yeah, I think the deciding fight in that game was when Priceofkabul had his army split, and he killed off one villager building a TC with half of his army, and then arrived so late to the fight that his army was pretty much null and void. So I think if his army would have been there, I think they could have taken that fight, and I think that game would have swung the other way from that fight alone. Yeah, so some build order misplays, some deck misplays from Kaiserklein. They do eke out that window. It was really, really close, and they did a really, really good job of trying to just trying to make it work there.
Kaiserklein, you have to say though, like Kaiser had a tough age too, but got into the game through really good gameplay. Like, we need to emphasize it was the great gameplay to get him back into it. It was conversely, it was Prince having a really strong age too, but falling away due to a few decisions here and there, and that kind of balance of power just allowed Mitoe to safely get to the 4th age, which is strong in its own right. And then Honored Arquebusiers, age 4 units in an age 3 fight, just absolutely dominating, much stronger. Added eco as well from the Porcelain Tower, 3 TCs. And settlements set out. I like how Kaiser had the bison shipment as well, and didn't feel bad sending 15 bison, safe herding, not a lot of walking time, great eco. Even Mitoe sending sager hunts, 4 sages at all the town centers and villages, and that is again a lot of extra safe hunts, which can't really be raided and pressured by what Priceofkabul is trying to do on the north side.
Kaiserklein in chat saying he's never played Suin team before, so he just has a random deck. I guess that could explain it. We see in this game Kaiserklein, to go with the memes, not exactly being a build order player. But yeah, I want to get into the next game. I'm going to show the post-game statistics real quick for you guys. Military tab there. We see Mitoe absolutely killing it with 346 units killed. We'll look at the combat XP. That again shows that Priceofkabul is pretty low there, 1.8k XP. We'll look at the resources gathered. Really well done from Samwise. Wasn't able to transition that to a win. We see Priceofkabul even having more resources gathered than Kaiserklein too. Looking at the military unit population, and then we'll look at the team stats for you guys real quick. Resources gathered. Wow, that's so many more resources gathered from Prince and Samwise. That's 100k to 78k. That 20k more resources, and you lose. Man, that's hard. I mean, part of it was that China was age 3 compared to their age 2s for a little while, and so your resources are gonna stretch a little bit more. But yeah, that's. I think Priceofkabul and Samwise, instead of I think it was more on them to lose, and I think that's they kind of lost that game there just due to their tactical positioning more than anything else.
I was just having some fun looking into the chat, and we had the epic fight between Hazard versus Tadstar. Tadstar putting Hazard to the sword, winning that engagement, but Hazard will come back for another round in 10 minutes' time.
Yeah. Kaiserklein doing good. Dhaka is the map. All right, map Dhaka, and then we'll go for the civs real quick. Kabul and Samwise. It is Iroquois.
You know that Kaiser's going to respin this no matter what. He's just
okay.
He appreciates.
I don't think he is.
He appreciates the map, but it's rather not play it.
I think Priceofkabul and Samwise are going to respin. Guess what civs they got? You can see it. Iroquois and Iroquois. Sioux in Spanish for Kaiserklein and Mitoe. Kaiser, Mitoe, Sioux, Spanish. So, double Iroquois. Is this a curse or a blessing?
Oh, this is a blessing versus Sioux Spanish, I think. I think you can just go essentially 2 sets of RE Eero builds in some respect and just kind of push through. You can put your warhuts near the pond so you don't feel too pressured from a Spanish caravel shipment. Su can send the privateers if they wanted to, but that's a commitment. Obviously, so can Iro can send privateer shipments in the middle pond, but double Iro, you can get out many Tomahawks and a Eners. Su will probably have to go for bow riders, but expensive units to deal with a musketeer style unit. Bow riders are great versus cavalry. They trade versus musketeers, but that's not what they're designed for. And Spanish, well, they only really come into own on an age 3. They guess they could go for archaic X-bow pike style play, or just normal hussar or normal musketeer. But I just don't feel it's going to be as effective as they wanted to. I think Kaiser's going to probably press the ready up button and try and see if the ready up's going to come from the other side, and if not, may go for the respin.
Yeah, I don't think Kaiserklein and Mitoe have a re-roll. I'm thinking on it. Last game they re-rolled, and the very first game they did. So they don't have one. Priceofkabul and Samwise still have one, though. So, yeah, it's this is game number 3. Kaiserklein and Mitoe, I don't believe, have any rehosts left. And Priceofkabul and Samwise have saved one. Double Iroquois, yeah, I think that if they played it more like 1v1, they could make something happen here. When it comes to C, China, I would say, is the best Civ out of all 4 of these on C, but I don't expect it to be a C game. I expect heavy aggression out from Priceofkabul and Samwise. Iroquois in team, that is often your best option. Perhaps
remember, it's Sue's Spanish, not Sue China. Sue Spanish, and Kai's kind
of
going for the respin.
You're right.
Has he run out of spins though?
Are you out of spins? Game 1 you re-rolled. Game 2, correct? I'm pretty sure they did. Or maybe it was Priceofkabul and Samwise. I'll let them. I'm almost positive it was Kaiserklein+Mitoe+Fare. He re-rolled game 1. Yes, but game 1. Okay, almost positive. Well, we'll see what happened. All right, the Priceofkabul and Samwise are. I could be wrong. There is that possibility.
Let's have a quick check. I will have a quick check because that is worth just getting it right, because it is if you use a respin. So like, I remember, I think Kaiser respan it super early. Was it? Because it was Baja California. Going to be map 2. They respan it for
the very first game before it even was live. He respawned. I thought. All right, Priceofkabul and Samwise say they've rerolled one, so we're just gonna all right, I'm just gonna tell him we're using Kaiser+Mitoe+Fare reroll now. All right, I'm just gonna do that. The opponents are cool with it, so that's what we're going with. I'm pretty sure it was I don't know, it wasn't on stream. Perhaps we will in the future not roll beforehand, just so that it is on stream, so that people can see. But or I could just write it down. That would work too.
Yeah, I think it's one each. I mean, to be honest, if they're happy with each other, it's their own fault for not counting as well.
Yeah, fair enough. But I'm pretty sure he did right at the beginning. Oh well. Regardless, it doesn't matter at this point. Russians and Chinese is Kaiser and Mitoe. All right, Russians and Chinese versus Germans and Russians. One thing I love about this tournament is you see matchups you never see anywhere else. So, yeah. Germans and Russians. So some quick points for you guys out there that are familiar with RE. Germans are kind of a meme civ almost on EP in team due to their Ulans being so much worse. They if they're not actually so much worse, they only have 10 less HP, but already being low HP, having 10 less HP, that is fairly significant. And then China, Not very. I'd say this is a pretty close match in all reality. China and Germany prefer to be H3 and not fight in H2. Their H2 armies are less than ideal. Russia versus Russia, obviously, that is pretty fair all in all. The map being Nepal, though, I think we're going to see at least a player go for an FF here. FFs are very viable on this map.
I think, yeah, absolutely right with the potential to ward your own plateau is very useful. I don't think you're at risk of losing the TP line very, very early in the game. You know, Germany would try to take one in transition if they can. So Mitoe, but that might get sieged down. But I think Mitoe, if he was being pressured by a German-Russian play, could go for a Box of Rebellion, one-shot Russian infantry, two-shot German cavalry, and be up to the third age. Kaiser could happily play somewhat defensive with Blockhouse, a few Cossacks to raid around. I'm feeling that the China player wants to go to the third age and feels more natural there. Sam might follow suit because sending crossbows into an opponent's base on a larger map also feels a little bit awkward, but we'll see how that comes out. I just don't feel it's going to be a massive showdown in the middle between these two sets of teams. It just doesn't feel German and China age 2 alongside Russia feels awkward because Russia has the Strelets sorted out themselves. So if China and German go for bows alongside, it doesn't really feel like it's adding too much value.
Yeah, I definitely expect some H3s out from at least either Germany or China. So with Russia, I think we're gonna see Russia, Kaiserklein at least, due to just how he's been playing. Defend Mitoe early, let Mitoe age up to 3, and then he will go to 3 as soon as it's safe. Priceofkabul and Samwise, they've been doing a lot of H2 aggression, so we'll see if they go for an FF here or not. There are different options, of course, and then the natives being Bhakti. Tiger Claws actually are a decent option. It definitely gives another option for Germany and or China in team. We do see there are 4 different trade posts for you for those that are not familiar with this map. On the left side there are gold mines. We'll just confirm that the map spawned fairly. It usually does on this map. It has a high tendency to.
Yeah, I'm happy with the map. There's one hunt not spawning here for Samwise, but he's already got 3 in base. Everybody's spawning with 3 hunts in base, or one base and 2 very, very close. So I don't feel we have any map-related issues here. And the Koi mines look to be relatively fair as well.
Yeah, one map, I'm not sure if it was this or Fraser River. It was one with cliffs around your starting TC. One of the mines spawned outside of the cliffs, and I rehosted that one, but otherwise, this map tends to spawn very fairly. Looking at it, it was a it was a food start. Is that correct? I believe it was a food start.
I wasn't paying attention, to be honest. But looking around, we see Russia with 1 house down, no coin, no wood, no remaining crates on the floor. So it looks like it's just a single food crate, as you're right in saying. 80 wood though picked up by Priceofkabul. Kaiser, what's he working on currently? He's kiting his way on a 75 food treasure. That'd be a nice pickup. Already on Prince's side of the map, so it's just kind of beelines to the southern side and just seeing a treasure thinking, oh, I'll have that. And food treasures as Russia, always very appreciative. Just to get that 14 vil idless age up. Kaiser already queuing up the 14 vils, and so has Prince at this point, just so that they can visually see how close they are getting to the age up and kind of anticipate and play around that.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the decks real quick now that everyone has selected a deck. We see the deck out from Mitoe. This is more H2 deck than he had in the last game, so perhaps we'll see some H2 aggression out from him. A little bit peculiar to pick a deck like that. We also see Kaiserklein having all 3 of the military shipments in H3, not something you always see as Russia. We'll look at Samwise's deck. He has all of his wood and coin crates, all of his villager shipments in H2. He does not have 5 Ulan, but otherwise has all of the military shipments. And we see that Priceofkabul having all military shipments too. So perhaps we're gearing up for more H2 aggression. I wasn't expecting this. What do you think about their decks?
We have a treasure. Well, actually, Prince is a bit slow on that. Is it?
It
was. The treasure steal did happen, and 120 XP is a big steal. Mitoe would have really liked that extra XP just to kind of ensure that he doesn't have to go for the train line if he doesn't want to, and can squeeze in an extra shipment in age 2 as a result of that treasure. But Prince sweep it in, pick up 120 XP, which is certainly not insignificant, and you see that he's already got his second shipment ready to go. But when he ages up, that could be 2 shipments back to back.
Yeah, for sure. We saw some nice play there from Prince of Kabul. He didn't continue doing it. Perhaps he was focusing on some of his eco, but he was pulling his faster monkey forward, and then using the pull trick to bring his explorer closer and get some more pot shots onto the Chinese explorer. Chinese explorer down to 37 HP. He could have probably taken that out, but it required a lot of micro, and I don't know. He didn't continue doing that. We do see 3 forward villagers out from Russia right here, and we see just 2 out from Kaiserklein. So Kaiserklein just has 2, and we see Blockhouse out from Prince of Kabul right by the trade post, and Kaiserklein scouting it well. Is that villager going to be scouted? I think Mitoe's villager was not scouted by Prince of Kabul. They barely stayed out of vision of his explorer. So if that was intentional, very, very good. And with the players of this caliber, I expect it to be intentional. But yeah, well done from them. We do see Samwise building a trade post right now. I think it's going to be a FF from him, it's looking like.
No. So I think they may have seen the Mitoe thing, and Mitoe's going to be dropping a village, sends in pikes, shoot canoes, step riders, one after the other. They're going to be playing like that. Samwise moving one centre back and forward to try to drop some sort of stable nearby Prince of Kabul's blockhouse, and I think they know it's going to be a pretty bloody game in the centre of the map. In the absence of Samwise and stable, you can see everybody else's basically cards on the table in between these 2 train post sites, both blockhouses. Blockhouse waypoint already sets towards these villages on the tree. I'm expecting first shipment from both Russian players, 5 Cossacks. And they go 5 Cossacks, 5 Musks on the field straight away. Kaiser cutting a little bit eco just to get that early 5 Musk batch going first before the villagers.
Second blockhouse coming down from Kaiserklein. And I don't think Prince of Kabul and Samwise have scouted their FB from Kaiserklein+Mitoe+Fare. And the 5 Cossack going straight into the opponent's base. And they're not going to get a villager. Not going to get one there. On the other side, though, we see that no villagers were lost either. So no villagers have gone down just yet. Oh, and I see that Caster's Curse right as one goes down for Prince of Kabul. So well done from Kaiserklein, and one goes down from Mitoe too. So well done from them. Looking at all the resources, no one is going for age 2 aggression, despite it perhaps being a good option on this map. Sorry, for age 3 fighting. And
that's so cute. That is Duba blending into the environment, getting line of sight, and just not being picked up. I think Samwise is a little wise to it. Does pick it up there.
Nice pun there. We do see that the 3 forward villagers from Prince of Kabul are going to be going down to those 5 Cossack, though. At least 2 probably. I'm not sure if third one's going to go down due to the Ulan going there.
Well, that is huge in its own right, but also Prince going 5 Cossack, 4 Cossack, and just wants to get pure. There's just so much idle time onto Mitoe, but villages on the coin mine, very well done by Mitoe, so he can get coin if he needs. But Mitoe is obviously he's not going to age up because he's got a barracks and village, and he's just sending 8 shoot canoes, 9 pikes, and you can bets. But 7 steps is coming afterwards. Maybe 700 woods, but 7 step also a likely option. And there's just not enough stuff on the floor for Prince Kabul Samwise to defend a triple China military shipment and Kaiser. He also went 5 Cossack, 4 Cossack, but double blockhouse could be going for some more infantry behind this. But there's just enough siege to take down a single blockhouse from Prince. That's the difference here. It's just 1 blockhouse versus 2, and this is going to be the fight. Chang pikeman on top of the Cossacks. Ulan's coming in. Colonial Ulan's, remember, only 180 HP. Cossacks engaging. Chickeners at the back line, quite safe. Ulan's pathing around, but more reinforcing musketeers. Population's relatively equal. It's actually going in favour for Mitoe and Kaiser as expected. It's all just jammed all their stuff in, and it's just Strelets underneath, and there's still Cossacks remaining. And here come the 7 Step Riders. Enough siege to take down the blockhouse train post, and enough cavalry to deal with what's remaining.
Yeah, I think perhaps it was a relatively equal fight in resources lost, but they're Kaiserklein+Mitoe had a lot more resources to work with, so they just have a lot bigger military. I see that it's 43. It was right when I said it. It was like 40 to 33. But yeah, some more Elons going down, and looking really rough for Priceofkabul and Samwise. Another villager going down over here, and it's looking rough for them. I'm trying to. Do they have any way back in this game? Realistically, if Kaiserklein+Mitoe played it well, didn't make mistakes, I don't think they do. Okay,
no,
so
if everything's played out at the same level as their PR suggests, then no, they've already won that middle part, and then they would have taken the TPs down behind. And Samwise already sends in 8 bows, which is kind of what you really want to bolster your defense. But if that gets cleaned up, then you haven't really got nothing to then remass again behind. So. The third game, once again, going to Kaiserklein+Mitoe, and yes, they have won this best of 5 series 3-0, and to be fair, you just have to say well played. Sometimes you can say, oh, this is where it won it or not, but just 2 top players, really good friends, really good communication, and you just see it there. They had plans most of the games. The second game, a little bit shaky, but they managed to come back into it. But this third game is... China has 2 ways of playing. It's either you FF in base, or you just send a village forward and just send 3 military shipments back to back, because, hey, China can do that.
Yeah, for sure. Perhaps, I think a really key point in that game was, I don't think Kaiserklein+Mitoe scouted, or sorry, Priceofkabul and Samwise scouted the FB from Kaiserklein+Mitoe. And I think that's why he sent the Cossack and tried to raid Mitoe so much, because he was expecting an FF. Not until later did we actually see the army. Did they see the army from Mitoe? So I think that was really, really unfortunate that they didn't scout that FB. But yeah, well played from Kaiserklein+Mitoe. Obviously, we give credit to where credit's due. That game number 2, I think they played their hearts out in that game. Kaiserklein+Mitoe tried so hard to win that game, and they eked out the victory, playing everything as close as they could. We'll look at some of the post-game statistics for you guys real quick. There's the military tab there. 15 military units killed for Kaiserklein. Crazy high. He had 39 military pop, but 50 units killed as Russia. And yeah, just well done from him there. Looking at the combat XP, that echoes that also. Look at the villager population for you guys. And we see Kabul lost... well, we know he lost 3 villagers, at least. And then
he lost a few more than that. I think some of the graphs, it's not instantaneously like up and down. You see how they slope, so it kind of... If something happens in that time frame, he kind of comes out with mixed responses. But I think he must have trained another batch while losing units. But he certainly lost about 4 vills. I think I could count 4, possibly 5. But yeah, not fantastic there. Might only losing just to 1 vill, but just enough villagers behind just to train a few units. But more importantly, sending those units behind. And I think it just followed that. The 2 better players in terms of PR up against the 2 lower players in PR. We're talking about close, the highest echelons. I think it was the lowest rank on the table today was a brigadier. So brigadier, Major General, Lieutenant General. You think, a prince. Prince had a tough series up against excellent players. However, they've played well in their first series they had in the play-ins. They also had a great set of games, which was also fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Really, really good play out. Really good match. Every single game in the 2v2 Jackpot tournament has gone. One team has won all of the games.
I know. It's it's a little bit awkward in that sense, but like it's just everything is randomized. So you'd expect some people to be absolutely thrown off, but the top players do know all the civs. They do play all the civs, and it's actually one of those. It was a possible way to kind of close some of the skill gaps, but actually you know what, it widens, and the famous Hazza, who is now back in the chat, did say on one stream that 2v2, if you have a great player in a 2v2 or team game, there's lots of ways you can make mistakes but kind of cover it up and come back. But there's also lots of ways where you can kind of single-handedly drag the game and kind of carry the victory for yourself by just playing correctly and just making the most out of everything. So a lot of ways for each player to actually play exceptionally well. And I think Mitoe didn't really put a foot wrong in the entire series. I think Kaiser slightly the better player once he got in the bad situations, getting back out. But Mitoe was just consistent through that tournament. The only mistake I can really think of, this is going to sound so petty, was a game 1 sent in 6 Stormhawks instead of the wood crate shipment, where then he was having to just chop for a war hut and just try and throw it down. It was a bit late, but Mitoe so consistent in this series. And I was worried that these two 1v1 Titans would struggle in this series, but actually now I assume are they on the same side as?
They are not.
They're not.
There's a high chance of them meeting Hazza and Osmane in the finals. Yeah, really good game out from them. It is 3-0 for Kaiserklein+Mitoe. For anyone else in chat curious, if you want to watch any of the matches, if you don't see it live for the 2v2 Jackpot tournament, it is on my YouTube. That is in the About section. Also, if you have any questions about the tournament or anything else related to this channel at all, you can message me on Discord. There's a link for that